Welcome to the sanctuary. I'm Kyle, and I want you to know that you're always welcome here in the pleasure den of the absurd. What's that? Why, it's just me. Boo! Yes, that's right. Welcome to the sanctuary. I pulled out 30 DVDs and Blu-rays that I have here to make a list of films for you to enjoy on Halloween. And I've broken this series up into 4 parts. There might be a 5th where I pull out a top 10 must-have. If you just want to wait for that one, well, then you could just have to wait for that one. So with this series here, we're going to start off with black and white films, because even though some people may not enjoy them, you know, for me, when people of a certain age, the old black and white films, especially those of the silent era and the 1930s and 40s, these were pretty well made, very eerie looking, lots of fog and shadows, and a lot of things that were implied but not actually seen or shown. Okay, and here we go. We're gonna run them down. First up, the original King Kong. A great movie to start your day with. Good afternoon flick. Lots of dinosaurs and great adventure movie. Giant ape. People stranded on an island being chased by all sorts of monsters and all kinds of stuff. If you want to know which one to go for, go with the original 1933 King Kong. It's great. Next up, this is a fun little sci-fi flick. The Quartermass Experiment. A spacecraft that had left Earth finally crashes, and all the crew on board is gone except for one guy, and he's sort of infected with this alien type of, I don't know if it's the alien himself or some sort of alien virus, but eventually he gets taken over and this weird creature appears, and they kill it, and the scientist who created the rocket at the end of the film goes off to create another one, so look out. Here's another fun film, The Vampire Bat. This was just restored by the Film Detective with help from the UCLA Film Archives from 1933. It's 63 minutes. The Vampire Bat, starring the great Lionel Atwill, who can always be very suave and sinister in all of his roles. That's a good one to check out too. Alright, next up, a real great, fun, cheesy, low-budget Mexican film, The Brainiac. This one was put out by Casa Negra. I don't think these are in print anymore, but it's a great film. It's one of these stories about past lives and sort of getting revenge on people, like, a few hundred years after the fact. And it's a very good past life type of spirit movie. Here's another weird Mexican flick, The Black Pit of Dr. M. Heavy on the atmospherics, black and white, fog, shadows, weird and eerie. It's very hard to explain, but I urge you to check it out, please. The Black Pit of Dr. M. Great Hollywood flick. Here's one that I had done a video on a previous Monster Monday. The Island of Lost Souls. Dr. Moreau is doing animal to human hybrid creatures, and it's a great eerie and suspenseful kind of film, and definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. This Bela Lugosi collection has 5 films in it, and it includes Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Black Cat, The Raven, The Invisible Ray, and Black Friday. Out of these 5, definitely worth a watch would be, well, all of them really, but I'm going to point out The Raven. I do like The Invisible Ray, which also stars Boris Karloff. So does The Raven. It's got Karloff and Lugosi. And Lugosi stars in Murders in the Rue Morgue, which is an interesting flick. So, Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Raven, The Invisible Ray. And getting back to Lugosi, Lugosi was the original Dracula, and basically set the template for all the other Draculas that were to come. And he set the standard. I love Bela Lugosi. So this includes all of the Universal horror films. It contains The House of Dracula from 1945, The Son of Dracula from 1943, Dracula's Daughter from 1936, as well as the Spanish version of Dracula from 1931, filmed on the same sets concurrently with the original 1931 film starring Bela Lugosi. Dracula is always a cool watch. Out of all the films on this box set, Bela Lugosi is only in the first one and the original one. But out of these, I would say Dracula's Daughter is excuse me, worth a watch, because it's heavy on the atmospherics, heavy on the innuendo, very spooky and eerie in its own right, and that one's definitely worth a watch, so keep your eye out for it. Next up, yes, Godzilla, the 1954 original. I would recommend the Japanese version. It's very serious. It's very somber in its tone and execution. It's not the goofy Godzilla that, people may think of when they first hear his name. But a close second would be the Americanized version with Raymond Burr. But I would go with the Japanese original. It's the best one of them all. This is the Criterion version of the film. I would actually recommend, if you're really a fan of Godzilla, get the classic media version if you can. This one is 2 DVDs. It does contain the original Japanese version, subtitled in English, and it does have the Raymond Burr American version. But the reason I recommend this version is because of the commentaries on both films by 2 Godzilla experts, and they tell you everything you'd want to know. It's very detailed, and if you're really into that kind of a thing, and if you're into physical media, get the classic media version over the Criterion, because the extras are just great, on it, and that's why I recommend that one over the other one. Our last film in the black and white series, The Flesh Eaters, a really good film. A private plane has to crash land on this island where this ex-Nazi scientist is performing experiments with these things that live in the ocean, and it just disintegrates the flesh right off people's bones. And this is what the Nazis were working on, and so the people who crash land become unwitting captives to this maniac. And but it's really well done. The editing is great. The cinematography is real good. It's a fun little flick. Again, character driven, and that's where the focus is on. So, it gets very tense, and there's a lot of cat and mouse, a lot of mind games, and it's a fun flick to watch. The Flesh Eaters. Watch them all if you can. Find these films on your favorite streaming service if you want to have a Halloween party or just view at your casual leisure. They are an interesting watch. This concludes this part 1 of the Halloween special. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments, have you seen any of these movies? Let me know in the comments if you were interested in seeing them, and let me know what you thought of it. Halloween is a nice holiday, and it's better to see these types of horrors, on your movie screens instead of out your window. We give lots of respect to those fallen in all this turmoil in the world, and with them we send our dearest respects. And with that, I just want to thank you for watching, and never be afraid to step into the pleasure den of the absurd.